are back for another warm-up show with hockey coach, goal coach, French directly for the beautiful country of Thailand, and we have to go all the way to find our co-host, Mr. ENORTAP. Is in the house tonight with some kind of flu, the cold or the cold. I don't know what. He has some things going on around the house of ENORTAP.
No, not the house, just me.
Just you.
It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad, but it's okay. The show must go on, Coach.
Thanks so much, Mr. ENORTAP, to be with us tonight. Today, on the Friday, November 11, 2022. Want to take a time, Mr. ENORTAP, to thanks all the people, the veterans, they help our freedom sent for many, many years. If you are a Navy, if you've been in the Army, and have been around, we want to, whatever the country you represent, I think you can talk about Vallejo, you can talk about many people in the chat have been those kind of people. We want to say thank you from the Hockey National Show, but of course, for this freedom we got from each one of you. And thanks so much for your service. And whatever you represent, Canada or the USA and many other countries, Mr. ENORTAP, I think it was appropriate to mention them today on the 7th edition of the Hockey Nation Show. It's called the show, the warm-up show.
We would not have our lifestyle today if it wasn't for them, Coach.
You're absolutely right about this one there. Do you think Danny been in the Army or?
No, he's undisciplined. I don't know.
The only way I heard close he became an Army guy, Mr. ENORTAP. So when he played golf, he hit the ball from the left, and then he go hit on the right, and then go back to the left, and he go. So that's the kind of style he learned to become maybe an Army. That's why he stopped. But otherwise, that's the closest one he reached.
Maybe he was the cook in the Army. I don't know. Making shrimp.
If he was if Danny was a cook in the Army, I think the Canada was on the deficit on the budget for many years with all the food it would eat and on this boat or whatever it would be. But first of all, we want to go and congratulate him. Why not to ship right away on the bus, Mr. ENORTAP? Because what a performance of Danny yesterday. Again, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what kind of cheating he does. But I don't think he does. He does all the time. He's really performing this year. And Roger should learn from Danny T, because yesterday he created another impact with a score of 9-1. It's time to ship him and the boss, Mr. ENORTAP, with all the shrimp around him. Here we go. An amazing, great run for Mr. Danny T. And we congratulate him, of course, is the performance, Mr. ENORTAP, 9-1 yesterday.
Way to go, Danny. Good job.
Here we go. But talking about performance, we're not welcome from Slovakia. One of the best men, I love the Slavkovsky. Talking about our friend Josino, back in the house, Mr. ENORTAP.
Welcome, Josino.
By the way, I want to thank personally Michael DeVillano to take a spot of the show last night. I know you joined the show at some point, so we want to thank Michael DeVillano. I believe he's in Arizona.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so he's scouting for the Everett Silver Tip, so we want him a great weekend. And then definitely he's going to return to do something like that. I think to see not always my face, to see new face, it would be better. So expect Michael to be back at some point at some level on different manners. Talking about the new face, it's not the new face, but he add new music in the Hockey National Show with his trumpet or his banjo. I'm talking Mr. ENORTAP, Luciano Graziano.
Luciano. He had a very good record too, Coach.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think yesterday I was 7-3, I believe.
No, I think he was 8-2.
8-2, so great. Do you think you have some kind of consensus between him and Danny? Or do you think
I'm sure.
Yeah, they have something like that, and then he just slip one pick, make a mistake, but otherwise, yeah, something's going on around the wall with the wall behind the wall. We have to figure out this. Jose Zasugowski at 2 game miss next to, yeah, absolutely right, Josino, her friend Sarkowski is out for Saturday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Miss Kelly back in the house tonight.
Hey, Kelly.
Luciano, wow, Danny 9-1. Yep. Like he tried to say, oh, I did not know he was 9-1. They talk each other about 23 hours per day. I'm sure he knows about that one, Mr. Nortap. But Miss Kelly back in the house. Welcome back, Miss Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
It was close call for her, but I think Nick helped her because she was on the direction to stay there, but she get out of this possibly at some point next leaderboard with her, because possibly Nick is very close to become the leaderboard of the jail, Mr. Nortap.
I know, eh? He might become the Nick County Jail.
It could become that one. We have to figure out next week.
Know.
During that time, we have to welcome another moderator, but a big fan of the Lesson King to find a way to get a W yesterday again the LANHAM Duck. Not
Very
LANHAM
lucky.
Duck. There you go. And by the score 2-1. So again, save my night again. I wish they saved me twice back to back this week. So thanks so much. And Run with King, thanks so much to be a part of the show tonight.
Welcome, Run.
I should have had a 10. Danny, he go for excellence. He go for greatness. But again, he did better. We have 7 likes so far, Mr. Nortap. 16 people in the house. A good performance of him yesterday. Stu Pirazzo. Welcome in the house, Mr. Stu. About this, and thanks to be a part of this. Stu was a part of the USA Army. And awesome, Stu, and thanks so much for your service again.
For your service, yes.
We appreciate that. William McClary is in the house tonight. William was having that thing that's some better last night. At least he's sitting in the brighter room about that one.
Maybe.
Maybe you didn't know your wife maybe shun the power of the light bulb, and then she go from 45 to 60. Who knows? That could happen. You'll maybe use a LED light. Who knows? Could happen. We never know about this one or that. And Kelly said last we forgot Canada about this one over there. I almost joined in 1991, Mr. Tap. See, it was close. That's what I said. What about Mr. 13, directly from Laval des Rapides, back in the house? Salut mon homme. Merci d'être avec nous ce soir.
Bonsoir.
We need him, asking him to play and join the house, to join us to play the game. Mr. Nortap, talking about the game. Somehow, somewhere, I can find this. I'll be helping. This is the email you need to send to us if you want to have a prediction of your game. There we go. And then Josino confirmed this is news for NHL. The World Cup 2024 was considered should be take place in 2025. And yeah, absolutely right about this. Thanks for sharing that news, Josino. What about Mr. Richard Mullen, Mr. Nortap, back in the house? Richard Mullen.
Richard.
And then what about Mr. Rich, Mr. 22, back in the house? Richie, thanks so much to be with the Hockey National Show.
Hey, Rich, welcome.
And it's smiling bigger and bigger and bigger in Texas, like the state of Texas. And Mr. Joseph Lanham is in the house tonight. What a W last night, Mr. Nortap. Last night, a W again for them. What about the another one? Mr. Rick Bengal back in the house. I just got a fun for Lou. He'll forget all the Reed Wolves himself. Lou asked her for the trade Jekai for him. F 1-for-1. Rick said about this one then. Do we do it?
No way, no way, no way.
Look like you're not going to get trade, Mr. Rick. And then Rich, have a good night right away. Rich William, have a good night. And then we'll go to Mr. Williamson. Happy Friday, Coach. Not that I just my Stanley Cup jersey. Oh, congratulations, William.
Nice.
About that one there. We appreciate
Nice,
William Snyder back in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
You'll have to wear it when you come on air.
Yeah. So try to get. Did I say William McClary first?
Yes, I believe so. Or was it William Schneider?
So we have the double William in the house?
I see William Schneider.
Okay. I thought I see William McClary, but it was only William Snyder, Mr. Nortap. We're getting that. I just wake up, though. You have to give me a chance about this. And RJ Calabro is in the house, Mr. Nortap.
RJ. The man of the men.
Thanks so much, Mr. RJ, to be with us for sure. Mr. Fernando Tavares from Portugal is in the house tonight.
Hey, Fernando.
And then, Mr. Natap, like we don't do a lot of time, but it depends the night. Tonight we have only 4 games, so we're going to talk about a little bit the league, the talking about different things. Maybe you can resume. Unfortunately, I have to watch all the game last night. It was like, God, there's 10 games
That's
watching, the
crazy.
highlights, everything like that. It was 1:15. I was like, come on, you wake up at 4:30, I go to bed, go to bed, go to bed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then finally I see that the Vikings 1-2 to 1. But anyway, I was happy about this. What paid your attention yesterday the most during those 10 different games? Maybe spun 1 or 2 things, maybe three yesterday,
For
Mr.
me,
Nutt.
it was the amount of offense. Are you kidding me? We had Carolina put in 7 goals, Vegas put in 7 goals, the Rangers put in 8. Even the Colorado Nashville was a high scoring game. I was kind of surprised. Then we had the hat tricks. I liked the Eichel going back to Buffalo and capping everything off with a nice hat trick to sort of send the message there himself. Boston keeps rolling, coach. This time against Calgary, who's been going the opposite way. And I think we got to start worrying with Calgary. Markstrom is just not the same person.
Well, I think overall they play better, honestly, 3-1. Um, and then
But the
again,
goaltending's not holding him in. That's the problem.
I'm sorry.
Well, they have some injuries on defense. I think they have 3
Oh, yeah.
main defensemen that are out of the lineup, but the goaltending just isn't keeping him in there, especially Markstrom.
It's funny because they have 10 defensemen at the beginning of the season. Now they're missing
Yeah, I
defensemen
know.
to back up. So,
Do you
really
remember?
interesting
Do
about
you
this.
remember? Do you remember what Bergeron used to say? You can
We are
never
not
have
enough
enough defense.
defensemen. That's what he says all the time about this.
Yeah.
Luciano asked you about this. Talk about Calgary. So, Robert said Kachuk asked her for a long term deal in 2019 from the Flame, but it was turned down.
Yeah, I think that was the case. They sort of had pushed it off as something that they would negotiate later on, but he wanted it at that point. So I wouldn't be surprised if part of that was the reason why he wanted out afterwards. Then losing Goudreau as well didn't help matters. Um, yeah, um, but still, I don't know. I believe I understand the whole idea of locking up your players, your star players, but what's happened to the value, the valor of a contract? Contracts 3 years, player 3 years, then we'll talk.
Yep, that's right. William McClay talked about the return classic, the interaction between him and the core and Buffalo middle finger visit arm and air. About that one there. We know when he came back last season, so his first time at Buffalo was not turned around to be great for Jack Eichel. Have a difficult night, and then we know already Jack was not at 100%. So it was like we said yesterday. It was going to be Alex Stock, Peyton Krebs, or the Jack Eichel is going to get the winner of that W they were going to play to get. But 11 goals, by the way, so it's a lot of goals. We
A lot
expect
of
what Buffalo is
goals.
going to be. A couple of the game now, the teams are starting to go what it's supposed to be. Like the Flyers right now lost yesterday against Columbus. Uh, Chicago lost yesterday. Then you have the Buffalo Sabre lost a couple of games recently. So will be really interesting to get that one over there, Mr. ENORTAP. Let me go around. Anything you want to mention before we jump in for other news?
No, I mean, we still have concerns about some teams around the NHL. I think we're going to be talking about that a little bit later, so I
Yeah.
won't get into it right now.
All right. Montreal Canadien Anderson is back. What you feeling about this one?
Well, it's great that he's back, but he hasn't really contributed much, to be totally honest. His game has to come around a little bit more. He cannot just play a north south game. This guy he's a prototypical type of hockey player, both size wise, skill wise. He should be doing a lot more than what he's doing in Montreal. Um, I don't know. I'm not 100% happy with his play, but we'll see if he can turn it around.
Yeah, his biggest problem is I think it's not only the plays, but more about the shooting puck. And he's on transition. So he tried to understand the game better. So that's Martin Saint Louis. Martin Saint Louis talk about a lot about the details of his game. He does more for the team, but he still have some kind of the hesitation and the way he can try to understand a little bit more what he should get better to improve his game. The problem he get right now is his shot per game. We have only 17 shots and 12 games in the beginning of the season. So he cannot
Yeah,
scoring if he only shot, 1.1 or 1.2 goal shot per game at this kind of the player he is. So he need to improve that department of his game for sure. And then, he need to understand to open up space and not to go only north and south. He did less this year. I think we can see an improvement. But again, he need to get more the puck on the net and go crash more in the net. Unfortunately, it was a
yes,
bad
yes,
luck. Whatever the gesture, you always have to be aware. But if you check the check between Sakoski and Anderson, Sakoski was worse. Uh, Anderson, on his defense, Petrangelo changed the direction at the last second. When he felt
yeah.
Anderson's coming, he moved from the right to the left. That's why he turned his back. It was too late for Anderson to stop by. But he was pissed off because he broke in his two teeth when he punched his face. And expect some kind of the revenge when the Montreal go back in Vegas next time, Mr. Nortap.
Well, I hope not. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. He served
Because
his
Josh
time.
Anderson
That should be
said
it.
he asked them if he called Pietrangelo. He said no, I don't have no reason to call Pietrangelo. If you want to beat
No.
me, if you want to fight, you have to go 1-to-1 in my face and not to jumping after two other guys is on me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it'll be really interesting to
Interesting.
see.
Very interesting.
It will be interesting how he's going to turn around about that one. Then we have a couple of people show up. We have Mr. Chicago Bear is in the house. Alan Barnes is in the house.
Welcome.
Question for Fernando Tavares. How long is DJ Smith going to last, coach?
Well, if they keep losing like they are now, I suspect it'll be within the next 10 games, maybe even less.
So you expect
They
him to
can't
be
keep going
out
like
until
this.
before the end of the Thanksgiving or at the Thanksgiving?
Yeah, yeah, right around Thanksgiving. If they keep losing,
Are you impressed by the performance of the Georgia so far?
I think he's been solid. I don't know if impressed is the word I would use, but he's definitely been solid, and he's done his job. You can't ask more from your number one goalie than to keep you in the games, and he doesn't have to be spectacular with Colorado. He just has to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. About this one, we want to welcome Mr. Luke for British Columbia is in the house.
Welcome, Luke.
Then I try to get if people talk about some things, and then they announce Arjika Anderson for Carolina is going to be out with an injury and is going to be retro at November 6th or so. Talking about the injuries about this, let's move on for the next thing, Mr. Natap. Montreal Canadiens should trade who, Mr. Natap? And this is my
Ah,
question. Is going to be out at 10 o'clock p.m. My poll of the day. So my question to you, Mr. Natap, is Josh Anderson, Joel Edmondson, Christian Devorak, Jake Allen, Mike Hoffman. All the players mentioned to you are already signed for the season 2023-2024. So I'm not including the people are on UF3 or and maybe any other players that you would like to maybe get trade, like David Savard, Mike Madison, or
or
Brendan Gallagher. I'm targeting
Edmondson.
only the veteran, not talking about the young guys, everything like that. Who do you believe
Yeah.
Montreal should trade? I know yesterday you
Well,
talk
who?
about Jake Allen.
No, I mean that's not something necessarily I want to happen. I just brought that up under the pretense of the fact that they're doing so well that it's kind of going against the grain of what they were trying to do, and that's to build from the bottom up. Nothing can be worse for Montreal if they finish, somewhere in the middle of the pack this year, even though it's a good draft year, because your goaltenders, stole 5 or 6 games during the course of the year and kept doing most of those other games. So that's the only reason I had brought up Allen, but I like his leadership there. I think this is hard to answer because you have to break it down into two parts. If you ask me, you should try to get rid of as many of them as you can and get value for them right now, and that helps also your overall goal of building. Um, Question is, can they get rid of everybody? And I'm talking about value. Like right now, Drouin doesn't have a high value, market
No, I'm
value.
not talking about them. They are not UF. They are not signed for 23-24. So the
Okay,
questions about who
so
you should trade are already signed for the season 2023. So they are returning with the Montreal Canadiens.
so I mean, the person that'll probably get you the most value would be I would say between Edmondson, who signed I think for 2 more years, and Dvorak, especially if a team is looking for a second or third line centerman. He fits in just perfectly. He has the experience. Um, who were the other ones that you mentioned earlier?
I'm sorry again.
Who were some of the other players you mentioned
So I
earlier?
talk about Hoffman, Anderson, Jake Allen, Mike Madison, and Joel Edmondson.
Madison, I wouldn't touch. I think he's part of our future.
Okay.
The Hoffman, if a team can sort of look beyond what they're seeing right now, his metrics are good. The guy has a resume of scoring in the past. So maybe, a team that's willing to say, I need one more winger to kind of complete these two or three lines, and this guy is going to help us on our power play as well. He might very well fit in. I always thought Hoffman wasn't too bad. It's just he doesn't fit in with Montreal. He cannot take on that role in Montreal. But if he's a secondary player with some other team, this guy can score. He's shown it in the past, and he can do that. But I don't know what you're going to get for him.
All right. I have a couple of people here. Rick, my trick was great. And Mr. L. Ensign is in the house.
Welcome.
Third thing is Josh and then up or the third wait for hit the next game would be surprising. I make my video yesterday, Mr. ENORTAP, about that enough. Last time I talked about Mike Hoffman about my underlying and people was laughing at me. Should be on the he should be there, should be there, should be there, because now today I talk about that enough about the underlying about its friend number. And then I
Yeah,
put
you're
it
talking about the metrics.
yes.
You're talking about the analytics and the
Yeah.
metrics. But they tried Hoffman on the first line,
I'm
and
sorry?
he didn't do much. When we were talking about this last time about Hoffman, we were saying, oh, Hoffman has the best expected value in terms of goals for, but he didn't work out on the first line
No,
because that's
they cut him only one game. He only
no,
won
they gave him 2 games,
no
two
one
games, and
game.
they saw enough.
One
Two,
game
two.
after that he got out after that.
Ask yourself why.
Altis crash after that. 2 game.
Ask yourself why.
So that's the problem you get about this one. So I think the underlying does not cheat about what happening. If you have a possibility to have more chance, at some point you're going to get put the puck in the net. And that's the reason that enough, I believe, is coming very soon. You're going to expect him to get a couple of goals very soon. I know he has 0 goals in the beginning of the season, but I think the fact he walk, the fact he does the little things. Again, yesterday he got scored a goal against McRae. He got wrapped, stole by the goaltender. But I feel Dan enough is going to be
When
the next one.
when Monahan was up there, when now that Doc is up there, they're performing well. As a winger, Doc, he's looking very good with those other two boys, and that's what you need to see. I mean, if it's working well, why are you going to mess around with it?
No, I don't say
That's my
that
only
enough would be
concern.
on the first line. I just said talking about the number.
Okay.
I never put that enough for the first line. No,
Okay.
the number I'm talking about is underlying about the number where he's in is the one of the top front stat where he's dominate,
Gotcha.
but don't have
Gotcha.
the
Yeah.
number about that one over there. Zach, we're going to talk about some option here. Then we have only no comments, no question. Dixon is back in the house directly from the car.
Hey, Dixon.
Thanks so much. Dimitra Bengal is in the house.
Welcome,
Maybe
Dimitri.
relate to Rick Bengal, who knows?
I
And
think
then
so.
we
Yes.
have Gallagher was good. Luciano Ab could use Taron Barry or Evan Bouchard for Edmonton about this one over there. Some good. Thanks so much, David, about this one. A little bit around the league, Mr. Tap. It's 6:30, so going to hit a little bit. A couple of news around the league. The injury report update is the Vegas Golden Knight Bronsois is back. And now, possibly a trade. What do you think the Vegas going to do? They cannot carry on three goaltender Bronsois, Eden Hill, or Logan Thompson. The only thing they can do, I don't know they will happen. They can
IR.
return Thompson and Nevada on the American Hockey League is exempt waiver.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Actually, Brassard just cleared waivers. Nobody took a pitch on him because I think it's because of his salary.
Yeah.
No team would go for that, but I think I don't know. Does he go down? Now that he cleared waivers, that might be the only thing you can do until maybe later on, if there's an opportunity to include him part of a package for a team.
Yeah, so that's my point about that. That's the reason I put the trade because it's not necessarily he claimed the waiver. He cannot have a negotiation right away after the team said, look, we're going to get this, going to hold the 50% salary, everything like that.
Right, right. Yeah.
So that was my point about this. But you believe he's going to be the goaltender out and not Aiden Hill or Thompson, right?
No, no. I think those two guys are just doing too well. You don't want to disrupt the chemistry right now in Vegas.
One of the factors, Mr. Natap, when you start the season with all the predictions, everybody start at 0 point, 0 W,
Yeah.
and 0 injuries. Or most of them have not major injuries at the beginning of the season. But when the season starts, things you're not controllable or you're not in control is the injuries. And yesterday, Mr. Natap, and a big another one over there, the Columbus Blue Jackets get lost the Wawrinski for
Wierenski.
down for the rest of the season. They both Punkvist, another defenseman, young, 23 years old, a long-term injury. The veteran Voracek is on the ER. The Kurali,
Yeah.
another veteran, is on ER. And I forgot Blackburn, whatever, Blandberg, whatever his last name, Blankenburn, I believe, is on ER. Another defenseman for them. It's a thing we never thought you're going to be in the race for the Conor Bedard. But now we have to consider Columbus missing a tap on the bottom three in NHL.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think that's a big loss for them.
Think about this, Mr. Tap. They have a ton of great prospect over there. They have Johnson, Zillinger,
Yes.
Bongvis, still young. Wawrinski, still young. Yeah, but I can go all the way like this if you want, you know what I mean? And I
Well,
think
even Wierenski's not old. I think he's only about 24.
23, 24, yeah.
Yeah, and
So,
so he just has to stay healthy. Every year he seems to get injured.
yeah.
Same
So,
same thing with Boquist.
to get a Bedard, a Fantilli, a Carlson, or a top five top, that's going to improve the cannabis a long term, Mr. Tap.
Right.
So I think it will be interesting to see that. We have a few people in the house tonight. We'll welcome back. We have Luciano. I took the pens, but I want to do it. Okay. Randy Walkman is in the house. Welcome
Hey,
aboard.
Randy, welcome.
Maybe he can explain this, Mr. Rick, about this one. What it is, I want to know. My wife.
Inquiring minds want to know. My wife.
What does ENORTAP
I'm not
mean?
sure. I don't know. Maybe the person I think I asked or coach did. if the person that subscribed was your wife.
Oh, you talk
The
about this? Okay, I don't know.
Yes.
Do you think Montreal will be a stupid a trade Jacky?
No, no, that's not going to happen. Guaranteed.
Williamson, do the Panthers make the playoff?
I believe so. I still, especially now that Ekblad is projected to start this weekend. I think that that'll go a long way to help solidify the defense. The thing I like about them is that their goaltending has really held up. Both Bobrovsky and Knight have played well. It's just that they're not as deep as they used to be, and they're going to have to find different ways to win. They can't rely scoring 6, 7 goals like they did last year.
My biggest problem for them, I don't expect to be. I think they're going to finish fourth in that division. Secondly, the good thing for them, I don't think so anymore. Detroit, Montreal, Ottawa, Buffalo, going to go through the next again this year to be in the playoff.
Hmm.
So that will helping them
Yeah, for sure.
about this. Is it better is good or better can McDavid?
Hard to say. One's established, the other one isn't. I mean, McDavid is a bigger player. Bedard is just as skilled, perhaps, as McDavid. But McDavid's speed is unreal.
Yeah, I would say to you right now, 13. I don't think so. I don't think so. He's going to be the same style as McDavid. Now he's going to be an elite player. It's how they develop, but you can't say him like better to Jack Hughes example or the players like he's on the next thing. Let's just below behind, I believe, for Crosby and McDavid, Mr. Natap.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Talking about injury, Columbus, Colorado, Help, long-term injury reserve. Boston, Fulbert, a long-term injury reserve, Mr. Natap. And then the Seattle Kraken announced that the veteran Olechek is on the ER for them.
You dropped them at the
Uh,
right time, coach.
Yep. More concerned, Mr. Natap, I'm going to give you two questions like this and give us a bit of information. Ottawa, Vancouver, Nashville, St. Louis. If you take one of the two teams you're really concerned and maybe explain why, it would be great. We have about 10 minutes to go through a couple more information about the league. We welcome back Mr. Alan Vaillancourt.
Ottawa worries me because, and it wasn't an, um, it was anticipated by myself. I hoped that this year would be different, but yet again they got off to a slow start. And once you do that, it's just too hard to get caught up again. Right now they're sitting with 9 points, last place in the Atlantic, and there's a lot of good teams in there that are going to remain at the top of that division. So that's a bit of a worry. Vancouver. Vancouver seems to, have put a couple of good games together, but I worry because guys like JT Miller has been invisible. I worry because Demko hasn't been his usual self, and it's they're in the same predicament they were last year. They've fallen behind. They're at this point, I think they're somewhere sixth in the division in the Pacific, and that's going to be a tough division. You got with the surprise of Seattle up there. Now we can make the argument Seattle will eventually level off and come down a little bit, but is it enough for Vancouver to get to that stage?
Not the
I
way they
think
play.
Anaheim,
Not the way they play.
not
They
the way.
perform like it
No.
was. It was so bad against Montreal. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
Demko is
Uh,
like 171 right now, over 4-on-4. The defenseman makes a ton of the turnover. I was surprised the Vancouver the way they play. So for me, this is over for them.
yeah, and I would almost put Nashville in that same equation, because I'm not seeing anywhere near the same team as I saw last year. Definitely not in net. Definitely not with Yossi. Definitely not with Forsberg and a few other forwards there. Duchesne, and even Tanner Janot is has been okay, but not anything like he was last year in his rookie year. So unless they can turn it around, they're in trouble. The only one I could see maybe improving is St. Louis. I'm not buying that this is a last place team, which is where they are right now, behind Nashville in the Central. I think they're a lot stronger. They have more depth than any one of those teams right there. Um, and with the kind of leadership that they have on that team, and they should be doing better.
Okay.
Maybe we could be seeing a coaching change there, unfortunately, because Berube's been very good. So you can't change the players; you change the coach.
Yeah, but I think Down Armstrong, with experience he has, I don't think so he would panic that way.
Yeah, maybe.
Luciano said, "Will the Devils have enough gas in the tank to keep that play up?"
Depends if they stay healthy, Luciano. Number one, depends if the goaltending doesn't start to fall off, and we've seen a couple of injuries already at that position. I think those are the two key areas. But I think they're the real deal.
Yeah, but when you said that, you have to be honest with you. They are 0.786. They're not going to stay at 800 for sure, but they
No,
will
no,
make the playoff.
yeah. Well, yeah. You would hope, right?
Um, for what you have at the bottom of this right now, um, you have right now with the Washington, Mr. Tap, 8 point behind Washington, and one game for San Jose and hands, and then they have
Who's?
8 point with Pittsburgh. So to eight
Oh,
point,
yeah.
it's a four loss for New Jersey, a 4 W of Pittsburgh. It's something you can reach, but it's going to be hard.
It is.
The way they play, I don't think so will happen for me.
But they won't get
uh,
100 points.
are you concerned the Montreal Canadiens signed Jonathan Drouin?
I'm concerned the management are going to re-sign. No, no, no. I don't think so. I think they're done with him.
Um,
They've given him merit. What is this? 6 years now. Every year. No, I don't see it.
but I won't make a abs a team as 24 plus player that need to go in same direction. McDavid is carrying the team on his break about this one over there. Thanks so much, Rick. Pierre Martin is in the house. Mr. Natal, welcome back. I
Welcome,
feel
Pierre.
Montreal try bring Pitt Montreal bring Dwayne back. I hope not. I never see
No,
anything, Alan. I follow cover Montreal Canadian and any moment and the newspaper, reporter, TV, radio, or anybody talk about that way, Alan. The mention to say we're going to resign him, it was never nowhere to mention. And I don't think so. The only one can be returned in my eyes is only Sean Monahan, Mr. Natal.
yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Although, if you can get a first round pick out of him, I would say do it.
Yeah. But I just said, like, if you have one to maybe can come back, is
Yeah,
Sean Monahan.
you're right.
Now, finishing this show, finishing that one, Mr. Natap, Alberta concern, Edmonton, Calgary. What are your concern about them and what do you expect for them?
I'm not overly concerned with Edmonton, I'll be honest with you. I mean, it didn't help to get that serious injury for Evander Kane because I thought their lines were quite good and offensively they could hold their own with anybody and then some. And the way McDavid and Draisaitl are playing again this year, you could tell that they're on a mission for sure. Defensively, I think they have to look at picking up somebody maybe or some kind of trade if they can. Goaltending. I mean, I haven't been as concerned with Skinner, but Campbell has definitely not been as advertised. I think they expected a little bit more out of him, and the hope is moving forward that he finds his game again. He's been through this kind of stuff before when he was with the Leafs. And if he can find his game, they'll be fine. He doesn't have to be, He doesn't have to be a superstar there. He just has to be, he has to keep the team with 3 goals or under on a nightly basis.
Yeah, I have a lot of concern over there, Mr. Nathan, for me, both team. Edmonton Oilers, the goaltending is really poor, Campbell, and you cannot relegate only one goaltender like Skinner. The defense struggle. They lost Kane. They have only not the depth defense. The depth forward produce more. It's really big concern about Edmonton. They're going to fight for the spot in NHL for with Calgary, Mr. Natap. I think at some point Los Angeles could step up more long term compared to them, and that will
I
give
have
them.
more I have more concern with LA than I do with Edmonton, I'll be honest with you.
Uh, for me, no, because I think they are helped. They don't have no hole, and I think they have still player like Kevin Fiala. They have a lot of debt over there. So for me, they're stable. They are stable. When you're going to find a couple of players step up
Offensively.
more, I think they'll be fine. My concern is about they are Hamilton, how they can become better, Mr. Natap. Like they already make David Tressalo. Like they run night after night. But you can see again Carolina, they got destroyed yesterday because they have nothing else after that. And that's my concern about the Edmonton. My concern about Calgary is the chemistry right now and the health, the injuries of the players they have. And it's funny,
It's
Mr. Natap. Sometimes when you miss one specific player, the team fall apart. And
yeah, yeah.
and the fact they missed Danev for Calgary, every time he fall apart, they lost him, the team go down.
Yeah,
I don't know is
that's
the
true.
unbalanced defenseman over there, but really interesting about.
But given how deep they were defensively, we shouldn't be seeing a huge skew like we're seeing. I think that they have to find that answer within. I think what we're seeing with Calgary is a truer picture of who they are uh, this year. I think last year was a year where everything went super well for them, and some players had career years. And you know that when you have a career year like that, it's very hard to duplicate that again.
Yeah,
So even not having those 2 players that can get you 100 plus points, like Huberto came in, but now I'm starting to question: do you think he's going to get 100 points? Doesn't look like it. Um, you know, uh, and Markstrom put up some enormous numbers last year that he had never really done in his career. He's always been a good goalie, but not to the magnitude that he was considered as a Vezina trophy winner,
but
and so he's gone
one
back.
other injuries coming back for the Calgary, they have 6 of them right now. Do you feel they have better chance to winning more at Edmonton Oilers?
Um, yeah, I think their composition overall is better than Edmonton's.
Yeah, that's what
Edmonton
that.
has more stars,
Yeah,
but they're more of a team. Calgary.
that's all right. We want to welcome Stephen Manber is in the house. Pierre Martin, if you never heard about it's called an Andros table, Pierre Martin. Maybe you should check about this, your area to buy this. It's called an Andros table that helps you stretch your nerve and your disc and your back. I'll just give you an advice about this. And that's is the right things. But as one said, Campbell, my brother, has said is start the wheel pulley that season. Maybe that's just how he start about this. Rick,
Yeah, maybe
I know you don't like to do pick the team to win cup based on what you see.
pick 2 teams to win the cup based on what you see. Uh, I mean, right now, how can you not like what you're seeing out of Boston? Whether they can get into that position to win it, I don't know, but they look very solid. I like what I'm seeing from Carolina as well. On the other side, I mean, you can't discount Colorado, even though they're not the same team that they were last year. I still think they have enough depth that they can go a little bit further. And we're really liking what we see out of Vegas.
You're
So those
absolutely
would
right
probably
about this
be
one over there,
four
Mr.
teams.
Natap. I agree. Since I was my fourth selection over there, like you. A result credit are 6-6-1, Mr. Natap.
I know.
Amazing
Isn't
about
that
this. Mr.
amazing?
Natab, we almost
Yeah.
hit the 50. I'd like to talk about this fun thing, but we have to move on with what we have tonight, Mr. Natab, if you don't mind. We appreciate everybody, guys, with all the comments and your question tonight. I think it was a good show to talk about this. Thank you, Mr. Natab Busy. That's what we like to go there. Mr. Natab, we have to go there, but that's not something maybe everybody like to go. But we have to mention the Kelly County Jail, Mr. Natab. Tonight we have two people. We're going to use the Roger. Roger is not free tonight. We're going to use Danny. Danny's going to drive his purple pink bug driving, and he's going to go to directly bring two people, Mr. Natap, tonight. And a return of Nick Chicago 97 and Rick Bengal, are both of them in the jail. So
Uh-oh.
both of them are in the chat tonight. So we wish you an amazing, great weekend. Honestly, 3 days off of what you have. Put your suitcase on the balcony. They're going to pick you up and enjoy your ride and enjoy your rest of your weekend, Mister. Hopefully, you're going to get out next week. We're going to have a new leaderboard Monday by Mister Enartap. And anything you want to add, Mister Enartap?
No, that's enjoy the weekend, guys.
Can wait to see you Monday with better. I'm in the jail, Rick. Yeah. So just your wife is already in the chat, so just mention her you're leaving in the next couple of minutes. So she will know already what's going on. She may be interested to see what kind of the thing you did. Maybe you can talk with her. I don't want to create some kind of drama with Carol between you and your wife, but it's happened sometimes. It's not that. But
It's the
that's the way.
price you pay.
Go ahead.
It's the price you pay for poor
Exactly. Randy
selections.
N is in the house tonight. Welcome aboard, Mr. Randy N. No stream tonight. Look like we are streaming right now. Randy, at least you're dreaming right now. But if you see dreaming, Randy not up, he's not talking usually because he's sick. So you're not dreaming,
Oh
Randy.
yeah.
We are live streaming. If you want in our top dance, we can ask him if you want to. But otherwise, full
Okay.
game of the program is
Maybe
on our
Monday.
top. The email to send us your prediction is at the bottom, the right corner. We thanks everybody. Before we start, Mr. Natal, we want to thank all the veterans of your service, their service, or the freedom we got there for many people inside the chat. If you've been, we'd say to you, thanks so much. Rick said, my wife used to me been in the dark house and no jail about this one over there. Here we go, Mr.
Yeah.
Nazap. I'm done now talking.
Let's do it, coach. First, we got the Penguins. They're rolling into Toronto tonight after that finally that 4-1 win over the Washington Capitals. They cost me a pick because I thought Washington would pull that off and extend their loss, um, or their losing streak, anyways, at 7 games. The Penguins have not had the start they wanted, of course, going 5-6-2, while sitting currently in 7th place in the Metro. Crosby is still his old self. He's got 15 points in 13 games, but the goaltending, it just hasn't been great for Pittsburgh. And a combined goals against average of 316 between Trish and Jerry and Casey DeSmith is not going to cut it for this team. Going against a strong Toronto Maple Leaf team, the Penguins are going to need a big game in net. Otherwise, Toronto's offense could overwhelm them. The Leafs, they come into this game after a 4-3 overtime defeat at the hand of the Golden Knights on Tuesday. They should be one of the top teams in the league throughout the season, but we've seen this roller coaster with the Leafs because, quite honestly, they still have the same holes that they always have had, and that includes defense and includes their goaltending situation. And at least now we're starting to see some of the players stepping up and scoring, so that should help them out in the long run. So I'm going to take the Leafs to win this one by a score of 4-3.
For the three for Mr. Natap, what a surprise for me to know that at all, because we are agree again.
4-3, nice.
Easy
And
done.
next, the Lightning, they're coming off of a tough loss to the Edmonton Oilers on Tuesday, but they've been off since that time. Meanwhile, the Capitals will be coming off of a tough game against Pittsburgh on Wednesday night, and that's a it's a bitter rivalry game and takes quite a toll on both teams. Washington is already banged up, as we know. They haven't been a bit. They haven't really, even though they kind of treaded water, they haven't really sort of stayed significant in the playoff hunt, from what I'm seeing. And hopefully, this doesn't fall apart for them before these players like Tom Wilson and John Carlson and Backstrom come back. And even I think TJ Oshie's out now too. And we don't know how long that'll be. So they've got issues there, and it's going to be hard for them to maintain any sort of threat against teams. But you got to admire them for at least playing every single night. Excuse me.
That's you.
Excuse me. Thank you, sir. It's an even more significant disadvantage when they're facing a team like Tampa Bay with a stellar goalie like Vasilevsky. Tampa lost their most recent game against Edmonton, as we mentioned earlier, but they've won 4 out of their last 6. They seem to be getting their act together. A few of their forwards, like Kucherov, are starting to score again.
Yep.
So that makes a huge difference. I think Washington will be able to keep this close, but I still think Tampa Bay will come out on top by a score of 4-3.
4-3 for Tampa Bay, Mr. Tap. Good. I
Yeah,
don't see close tonight. I see it bigger, 5-2.
yeah, you could be right. It's
Uh,
just that it's in Washington, so maybe.
yeah, we want to welcome Mr. Renault. Welcome back. Yeah, Pittsburgh's going to be a back-to-back
Hey,
game, Mr. Renault. Possibly they will
Renault.
retire for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Game number 3,
Um,
Toronto.
Number
Toronto.
3,
San Jose,
Dallas.
Dallas.
And what can we say about Dallas? They've just been looking really, really good all year long. Uh, there's somewhat, I wouldn't say a surprise, but last year we complained about consistency with this team, and this year they seem to definitely have that. And it's great to see that guys like Sagan and Ben, to a lesser degree, has supplied some secondary and tertiary goal scoring for them. The goaltending with Jake Ottinger, that leads the NHL both in goals against average and save percentage. In short, um, I think they're clicking on all cylinders right now. They're 4-1 at home, and will host the bad Sharks team on the second game of road back to backs. And this one looks, to me, it looks very good for Dallas. I'm going to take them by a score of 6-2.
Wait a minute. You said San Jose 62?
No, Dallas
Ah,
6-2.
I thought because no, yeah, so he feel very sick, but now I can.
Yeah.
Dallas 6-2. I go
Yes.
with this. We have the same kind of number to go, but a bit she closer.
Yeah. And now it takes us to the toughest game of the night. Minnesota, they're wrapping up a 3-game West Coast road trip tonight when they play Seattle. The teams played last week in Minnesota, and the Kraken came out on top by a score 4-0. So I'm sure that that's playing in the back of Minnesota's mind as well. Since then, the Wild were shut out by the Kings and then beat by the Ducks, who are in last place in the Pacific. The Kraken, after beating the Wild, went on to beat the Penguins and then went home to also put a beating on the Predators as well. The biggest advantage in this game comes from the offense, I believe, and it favors. Um, I would say it favors the Kraken. I know you're probably saying, "What are you talking about?" We got Kaprasov, we got Hints, and all these other players here, but I think they're more balanced, the Kraken, and I'm seeing that on a nightly basis. They're in the middle of the pack in generating scoring chances, ranking 15th in expected goals. But this is much better than the Wild, who ranked 24th in the same category. The real separation between the teams on the attack comes when looking at converting on those scoring chances. The Wild are averaging just under 3 goals per game at 292, which ranks 20th in the league. And the Kraken have been finding the back of the net so far, and so they're averaging 3.5 goals per game, which is seventh best in the NHL. And so that's why I said, when you look at the offense, I see more as a team coming out of Seattle. So I'm going to take this as my, if you want to call it, the surprise of the night. Seattle to win in overtime, 3-2.
Seattle won 3-2.
Yes.
All right. I was not sure about this one, Mr. Notap, but I took Seattle too, but I go with 4-3 tonight.
So we're on the same page. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. I was thinking to take Minnesota, be honest with you, but
you want to listen to me.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. That's the point. I want to finish the week perfectly good. Possibly we'll get 4-0, or maybe we're going to be wrong. If I'm wrong, I can point someone because of you, someone.
Anybody, just
Yeah,
anybody.
I mean, that's the reason. I need to figure out. But Mr. Natap, yesterday we do at the end of the show something new. We talk about the bet of the night. The record now is 7-2 coach, 7-2 in our tap. And we are 3-4. So what you talk about? So when we are straight, we get 3-4. So we get a good result. And honestly, yesterday we cheat. We used 3 results yesterday. We should go with 2, but we did 3. McDavid over 0.5. It did not happen, Mr. Nata.
It did happen. He got 1 point on the power play.
It's happened? I thought he had 0 point. I didn't see the
unless they changed it, but I saw. I think it was the very first goal was on the power play, and he got an assist, I believe.
You're absolutely right. So we are right over there.
Yeah.
Edmonton, Carolina, you said under. I was right over there. That's 2.
Yeah.
Connect me over 2.5 shot, Mr. Nata.
And he had 3, I believe.
I can look again. Jesus, I did not look about connecting. I forgot about this one there. We're going to take that time. We have to be sure we are right, Mr. Natap. Can we get 4-4? It'll be interesting to see that, Mr. Natap. Can we get 4-4, coach? Did you nail it yesterday, Mr. Natap? Connect me. Have 2 shots, Mr. Natap.
No, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So we are wrong over there. So
wow, I thought
that gave us the same the record. I was right. It's just the wrong place about this, Mr. Natap. But it's okay. It's a part of the game. Tonight, Mr. Natap, we have 2 suggestions tonight. San Jose Dallas over 6.5 or Robinson over 3.5 shot on the net.
Which Robertson? Toronto?
No, Dallas.
Dallas. Yeah. Okay, let's look at San Jose and Dallas. I think this will be over 6.5, and Robertson, I'll go with over as well.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Robinson. I looked the stat. Yeah, 3 of the 5 game at home in Sanatap is over 3.5. He has 8 of the 12 game is over. So that's something you have to gain. I think if you put $50 on this, I'll give you $130 back to you. So it's up to you guys. But I'm going to give you that. So pretty good run, Mr. Natabs, honestly. I think that the record we get is record. So we want to mention everybody. So both of us, we are over tonight, Mr. Natab.
Yeah. Okay, good.
There we go. So that concludes, guys. And that's it. And Charles Keller asks you, Mr. Natap, which rookie do you most impressed by the Montreal Canadiens rookies?
Good question. Hmm. I it has for me. It's from the on the defense. I mean, I've loved what I've seen out of Gooley, but I love the consistency I'm seeing out of Harris. It's kind of a throw up between those two players. Probably I'll go with Gooley for now. He's the sexier name.
Yeah, absolutely. That I think you have to go with Coley. About I agree with you about this one, Mr. Natap.
Yeah.
Whatsoever it is. And then that's conclude, Mr. Natap, the show of the night. We go through this, and we appreciate a lot. Thanks to be a part of the show tonight, Mr. Natap. Speed recovery, feel better. Be ready for Monday
Thank you.
night. And you're going to bring out the
Will
leaderboard,
do.
guys. We thanks everybody for the great weeks we got all together. A great performance, Mr. Natap and all the moderators. We're going to be back right away for do the game between Toronto Maple Leaf, live streaming again the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight, Mr. Natap, and we're going to go to this tomorrow night, Montreal. That's what we got, and then Sunday night look like going to do let's talk hockey Monday Sunday night, and we're going to do a ad brunch Monday morning, maybe not as brunch Sunday night. My lineup 2023 2024 for the Montreal Canadiens, Mr. Natap.
Why not Sunday?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I really have
Sounds great.
interesting about this one over there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Until the
I
next
could
time,
see
Mr. Natap, are you ready?
You are
I'm ready.
awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you.
Yes, you have greatness inside of you, Mr. Natap. Thanks so much for everybody to be a part of the show. Of course, Mr. Natap. Until the next time, we want to wish you be well, be healthy, find a way not only dominate your day, but find a way to dominate your second half of what?
You're 2022.
Here we go. We're going to get out, Mr. Natap, straight to the outro because we have to come back very quickly. So we wish you an amazing, great weekend, Mr. Natap.
Thank you. You too, Coach. Good night, Hockey Nation.
Thanks so much.